Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Prince of Cups. This is some Scorpio energy. There might be a Scorpio person close to you in your life right now. You might also have a very significant placement in the sign of Scorpio in your chart. Okay, but I feel like you're somebody right now who is kind of raw emotionally, you know. I feel as if right now you're very sensitive to the opinions of other people. You're very sensitive to the emotions going on around you. So in an effort to kind of prevent that from overwhelming you, I think you might be in a little bit of a hermit mode, a little bit, you know, where we're kind of, we're not as engaged with people as we kind of usually are. I feel like you're I feel like you're an artist. I feel like you're making an effort now to try to be as authentic as you can in your life, to create the kind of life that you really resonate with, that you really feel. You know, you want to be connected with everything. You want to feel as if you're in the right context, right? This card sometimes reminds me of like a bubble, because this is water on the outside, but it's a prince, so it's air energy, right? So it feels like there's some air inside this bubble, and we're trying to protect this bubble. Maybe it's a bubble flowing through the ocean, right? Which it's trying to find its way to the surface, you know. And maybe this is just a bubble, you know, like my daughter blows bubbles out in the yard, you know. And those bubbles are very fragile. You just look at it and they pop, you know. So they're very sensitive to the fluctuations of the air around them. So to me, it feels like we've got this really raw energy around us. That maybe we're a little bit short-tempered lately. Maybe we're finding that we cry a lot easier now than we kind of have been. We're very sensitive to those fluctuations of emotion and very sensitive to people's communication. Any kind of energy coming in, right? Good news, bad news, we're very sensitive to it. I feel like you're somebody who is really trying to find the right environment. Maybe you're trying to find your way to the surface. Maybe the bubble just wants to kind of pop, and that air wants to, to kind of be free. You know, I feel as if you're very in tune with your environment. You're somebody that likes to have the right kind of pictures on the wall. You like to have the right kind of objects and inspirational, pictures or toys or statues, this sort of thing, the decor of your house. You probably even have like some decorations in your car. I'm kind of sensing you got something from the rear view mirror. You might have something in the back window, maybe a couple bumper stickers. You like to be able to look around you, wherever you are, at the office. You want to be able to look around, and anything that your eyes may fall upon is comforting and or inspiring and or energizing, right? And so I think everything around you has a purpose. I think where you have everything, it's kind of a feng shui in a way. Everything that you have around you is there for a reason. And maybe in the bathroom, there are certain types of art in the bathroom that, it's the energy that you need first thing in the morning, right? Something like this. Or near your bed, I feel like you've got a certain almost like protective religious imagery or something around the bed. Or there's a statue or there's a picture, there's a dream catcher or something by the bed, right? And I feel like that's the kind of energy you need when you go to sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, that's the first thing that you want to notice, okay? And this is all in an effort to to express yourself, to create the kind of environment, to create the context around you that makes you feel like this is me. Because what are we other than our context? You know, if I strip myself away from all of my environment, from my decor, if I take all the pictures off the wall here, I take all the stuff off the desk, if I take the clothes off, if I take my personality off, that'd be pretty easy. If I take off all my beliefs, all my desires, all my hopes and dreams and wishes and aspirations, without all of that context, who am I? Well, I think we're just that bubble, you know. I think we're just that pure breath, just that spirit that's kind of, you know, infinite. But as far as our earthly existence, I feel like we are very much, and you know, we could say, well, then you're nothing, right? And maybe that's what the Buddhist would say, that you're just free energy, you're just consciousness, back in the universal consciousness, and there is no sense of individuality. Once the bubble pops, right? It either the water goes back to the water, the air goes back to the air, and that's it. So who are we without our context? And I think you're very focused on context right now, but I don't want to bore you, so I'll continue with some more cards. Now we've got another court card. We've got a Knight of Pentacles. There's going to be, and probably you're in this energy right now. You're probably feeling this right now. We're starting to think more about the future. And maybe we're getting older. We're starting to think long term a little bit more. We're starting to think about how many years do I have left? And what do I want to do with those years? Okay. And I think that's kind of part of this. Well, these are partners, right? These are feeding each other. This Prince of Cups feeling that we have is really motivating us or influencing us, prompting us to start thinking a little bit more about the future, right? And the more we think about the future, the more we kind of come back and we say, okay, right now I've really got to start creating this life that I want. I want my context to be, you know, something significant, intentional, something that I feel, something that makes sense to me. If we want to, the Knight of Pentacles is us asking the question, who do I want to be in the future? Where do I want to be? And what do I want to be doing? And then we work our way backwards, right? We kind of reverse engineer that answer. And we figure out right here, right now, what I need to do to become that person. And that's what we're doing here. This is us saying, I need to become that person. So I want to make my personality, my thoughts, my beliefs, my clothes, my attitude, my desk, my walls, my bedroom, my everything. I want to make my world the context the context in which I can become who I want to become. That I can be who I want to be. Okay? And maybe this is just in the sanctuary of your own home or your own bedroom or a particular room in your house, maybe your garage, or you have an art studio or something. We all need that space. It's the temple, right? And we set up the temple in the way that's giving us the context for the kind of emotional life or the kind of spiritual experience that we want to have. So I feel like you're very much focused on context, very much focused on how your current context is creating your future self. Okay, let's keep going with some more cards. I'm not trying to be too philosophical. Today, all the readings today have been a little bit different. I don't know why. We got the Eight of Pentacles now. You're a very practical person. And this too is kind of that nurturing energy, right? That we're trying to just, you don't just go to Bed Bath & Beyond and spend $1,000 and you buy all this decor and there I decorated my house and now this is my context and this is me and I feel like I am here and this is, it's a reflection of the environment, that sort of thing. No, I feel like you're somebody that goes to like thrift stores, antique shops, and it has to really speak to you. You want to find that thing that really is, you're not in a hurry. I'm not just saying, oh gosh, quick, I've got to create my context in my life. So I've got to hurry up and do all these things. No, I think it's just, you're kind of mellow. You're very careful. You're slow about it. When something speaks to you, that's what you'll select. And your walls may be bare for a long time until you find that one perfect piece. Well, that'll go over there. And then over time, we've created this masterpiece of our lives, right? And I'm using the example of the environment and your home and your walls and things, but really it's the same thing inside. Okay? I don't want to so quickly figure out who I am and what I believe and what my opinions and what my thoughts are, what my feelings are, and what groups I'm associated with and who my friends are. I don't want to just snap my fingers and just have it all at one moment. I don't want a prefabricated or a prepackaged kind of context. It's going to be slow. It's going to develop over time, what we believe, what we think, who we associate with, who our people are, right? And that's even stuff that's going to change. Things are going to filter in and out, right? It's an organic process is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that's your approach to life. That's your approach to whatever really this context is. The context could literally be your house. But it could be your work environment, it could be your job itself, or your career, or your sense of purpose, or what you're trying to do with your life, okay? When I say context, you've got to fill in the details of what exactly that means, okay? Whether it's your school context, your work career context, maybe your volunteer, maybe your creative context, right? What is it that we're trying to really create? What is the context for you? Okay, we've got an 8 of Cups in the background position. There's a reason why we're focusing on this now, and I think it's because you've seen, how do I say this? You've started to notice that the hour, the hourglass, what is it, a sand timer or something? You've noticed that it's starting to get a little low. Okay, so I feel as if you have spent some portion of your life not doing this work. You've spent some portion of your life perhaps giving to others, giving in to others, or just even not asserting yourself or not taking the initiative or not taking ownership of the context, not putting enough thought or feeling into it, whatever the case is. I feel like we recognize that we've maybe wasted a little bit of time in the past. Okay, in the past, not now, but maybe back in the day. I feel like this is either a glass half full or a glass half empty, right? And we can see that either our life is going to continue to not feel right, okay? The water's draining out of the cup, glass is half empty, and it's got a leak. Or we can say, no, the glass is half full, and it's my job to keep filling it up. It's my work to keep improving, to keep getting better, to keep feeling better and doing better and thinking better and expanding my life, right? And working towards some perhaps unforeseeable, vague future self, future goal, future context, right? Maybe we don't know exactly what the Knight of Pentacles is looking at, but we know that we want it to be an expression of ourselves. We want our environment to be a reflection of ourselves, just as we are a reflection of the environment, right? The energy goes both ways, but we want that to be in a rather intentional way. We don't want it to be tossed about like a cork on the ocean, right? So we have to have this feeling of the 8 of Cups to know that something needs fixing. There's something that's not well. We've got to make it well, right? And there's the Lover's card. Interesting, Lover's card. Well, there could be a suggestion of a romantic relationships. I know I can hear the groans. Don't worry, we're not really going in that direction, but it could be. Okay, for those of you that feel that this is part of your context, then this is that. But this is everything. This is you feeling that inspiration, right? Like I said with the 8 of Pentacles, when you see something that catches your eye, very organic. When you see something that catches your eye at the thrift store or at the antique shop, and you're just kind of drawn to it, and you say, yes, I'm going to take this home with me, right? And it's kind of the same thing with everything in life. You're not trying to rush anything. You're not trying to just snap your fingers and have this prefabricated life, this prefabricated context, family, friends, all this, beliefs and values. This is like you're not acting until you feel that inspiration. This is the card of inspiration. This is the card of getting hit with Cupid's arrow, falling in love with something and uniting with it as part of, and that way it really is an expression of yourself. You are an expression of it, and there is this bond, there's this marriage that happens, okay? And we could be talking about literally objects, right? Decor in your house. We could be talking about friends, family members, romantic partners, whatever it is. Abstract ideas, right? Whatever it is that we wish to have as part of ourselves. And we're not just taking anything just to fill up our bag. It's like you got your shopping cart at the grocery store. You're not just throwing everything in because you think the name of the game is to fill my grocery cart up and then go pay, right? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. No, you take your time. You walk around the store and you think, well, that really looks good. I haven't had some bok choy in a while, you know? And we allow ourselves to really feel drawn to something. We have to be in touch with ourselves enough to know what it is I want. Sometimes you go through the grocery store and it's like, I don't know what to buy. All this cheese, I don't know. Do I want cheese? You have to know yourself a little bit. And I think that's part of the Prince of Cups, knowing yourself. Knowing that bubble of air, that soul that's in there, right? And then trying to kind of use that to guide ourselves through life, to build up the life that we really want. All right, let's look at the future position. I'm very curious about this. I'm a little nervous. I think it's going to be some water energy. Oh, no. No. It's a Five of Wands. Interesting. The Five of Wands, it's about the regulation of our striving, right? You've got this creative drive in you. You've got this ambition. You've got this driving force, right? We want to make sure that we don't just floor the gas, right? We have to learn how to kind of finesse things a little bit. So we get, with this card, sometimes a little bit of a temper. Like I said before, it seems like you're very sensitive to things going on around you. I think especially when you're presented with a context that you don't resonate with. You know, when you're around people who aren't in harmony with your vibe, they're not on your frequency, I feel like you get really irritated by it. I feel like for some reason, sounds have been amplified for you. We're kind of in that mode where everything feels more sensitive. It's almost like when you have a migraine, you know, and like the lights are just too bright and the sounds are just too loud. That something doesn't feel right about this context. Or wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, whatever's going on. The Five of Wands is reminding us that we can't force everything else to change. Okay? That a lot of the time life is us being in a place we don't want to be. I mean, that's probably 99% of life, right? Is doing things that we'd rather not be doing. If we had our way, everything would be the perfect context for us. Everything would be what I want. Well, if everybody did that, I don't know that we'd really be getting along so well. So we have to have a degree of tolerance. We have to know when to strive and when to change the environment. You have to know when you can reach out with the five, right? It's like your hand. You're reaching out with your hand and you're changing something. You're influencing the world. And then we have to know when to kind of pull that back and just allow ourselves to be influenced by the world. Or when we have to just accept the context or the circumstances in which we find ourselves. And that's magic. That's the magician energy. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right over here with, I don't know, Frankenduck to go on top. If you've got a suggestion for a better name for Frankenduck, please put it in the comments. Or if you think you know what that card is, drop it in the comments, all right? We're going to talk about the path of the serpent, and yes, I'm going to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, and it helps out the channel, and I really, really do appreciate that. Let's get this channel up to 300K, all right? The channel is supported by viewers like you, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. General energy now, Path of the Serpent. Now we've got some more fire energy. This is, well, now we have something interesting, because I said with the Five of Wands that it's magic, right? To know when you should reach out and strive and try to change your environment and assert yourself and kind of grab what you want, or make changes to the environment. And then there's the magic of kind of knowing when to just step back and yield and let the environment be the environment and let ourselves kind of be influenced by that. Then over here as your general energy, you've got Mercury in Sagittarius. Now Mercury is the magician, right? So this is you really understanding how that process, this Five of Wands, the striving and the yielding, right? The active and the passive, the positive and the negative, the light and the shadow. You understand how all that works. And that's allowing you to kind of always be in the right context, or at least knowing how to kind of nudge your life maybe up there toward that rainbow rather than in any of these other possible directions. Because I think you know the key of magic. You know the secret of magic, going between the pillars of black and white, right, of positive and negative. Not falling to either extreme, but partaking of both, right? And that's why your card is obviously the art or temperance card. But with this now, with the Eight of Wands as your general energy, I feel like you're kind of expanding your realm of, you're expanding your sphere of influence. But more than that, I think you're expanding your sphere of consciousness. So I feel like the context that you're in now, you're learning how to blend together that idea of, I don't want to be here, versus I'm going to make this a place I want to be, right? So that's the key of the magician. The magician can take whatever materials are here, whatever context the magician finds itself in, is going to create life, create the magic in that context. The magician doesn't say, oh, well, this venue is not right, the stage isn't right, I don't like the lights, I don't like the audience, I don't like the acoustics in here, I don't like the smell on the street, I don't like the, whatever. The magician does the magic wherever you find. You watch these magicians on YouTube or something, right? That they're just out walking around in the street, any old place, and they just meet any old people, and they'll do the magic trick. And those people, whoa, I never had that happen to me. I would love to actually meet whatever they're called, a stage magician or an illusionist or whatever they are. But this is, taking whatever context you find yourself and making the absolute best of it. Optimizing your experience. Optimizing your context, even if we can't completely change the context. Let's say you're at work. You can't paint the walls at work, and maybe you can, but most of us can't. We can't change everything about our workplace, but we have to optimize it to the best of our abilities. So we don't want to think in black and white. We want to think right in the middle, right? I can't change the context here, but I can. I can change a little bit. I can change maybe those things that are right close to me in my personal space. I can maybe control the music I listen to, or I can control the thoughts and the feelings that I'm having, and I can try to optimize the context that I'm in. I feel like that's what the Eight of Wands is for you right now, and I think that's really, really big energy. In the environment, we've got that Nine of Swords. Sometimes the Nine of Swords is us really just accepting that which cannot be changed. And it's kind of, in a way, it's a blow, right? In some ways, it's some cognitive dissonance. It's like, how do I accept this situation that I really, I don't feel is ideal for me, right? But for whatever reason, we can't change everything about it, right? This is the job that you don't want to quit, or you can't quit, This is sometimes the acceptance of those inevitable things over which we don't have any control, okay? So in that case, your Five of Wands and your Eight of Wands are very useful, because the Five of Wands, again, it's kind of us knowing what we can change and what we can't change, right? it's not worth it to reach your hand out and try to influence something if it's not going to work, if you have no say in that. Okay? And I'm not saying that you have to accept toxic circumstances or anything like that. I think this card is about us realizing that we can't control every detail of everything, because there are other people in the world, and their choices and their efforts to do the same thing are rippling out towards us and influencing us just as much as what we do is influencing everybody else. There's got to be some sort of harmony, which means sometimes we got to just put up with stuff. Okay? But this isn't saying that you need to stay in a bad situation or a toxic situation. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? Let's do another card maybe to help clarify that Nine of Swords. Now we got a Princess of Wands, and I think these two really go together. And really, the Nine of Swords with this Princess of Wands might be saying that when you encounter an environment that feels painful, it's kind of like I said about having the migraine, where if we are we're in that state, if we're in that heightened sensitivity, and somebody's playing some music, or somebody's just writing with a pencil, and that scratching sound, and it feels amplified. It feels like we're just, feels like a Nine of Swords, right? That this is then us freaking out and yelling and screaming and running away, or breaking the pencil and yelling and just kind of letting loose, right? We're acting impulsively. We feel something is, almost physically painful, right? And I have some neurodivergence where sometimes sounds will feel very loud when in fact they're not. Like sometimes, you can ask my wife. She's over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Go over there and ask her about this. Sometimes it feels to me like everybody's yelling. Even people on TV, on the news, everywhere. People are just yelling all the time. And I asked my wife this the other day. I said, why does it feel like everybody's always yelling? And there's no right answer to that, right? But sometimes we feel as if things are just painful to bear. And the Princess of Wands is us then acting impulsively based on that feeling, right? And sometimes this is the right way to go. Sometimes if there are these 9 swords coming at us, we've got to do something about it. It doesn't mean that where they're coming from, because see, these are in the environment. And just because we're perceiving the environment that way doesn't mean that's exactly what it is. It's our subjective truth, right? So when we have the Princess of Wands then in the environment, this is really saying that sometimes it's difficult for us to control our reactions and our responses. Like I said, sometimes you are, maybe we're a little bit temperamental, right? Let's look at the next card. We've got the Leo energy. We've got the Lust or Strength card. The courage, the bravery really is about the utilization of this fire energy, because this here is Saturn in Leo. So we've got this lust energy, and this is the strength, this is the stature, this is the belief in ourselves that says I can reach out into the world and I can create whatever I want, that the entire world, the entire universe is my canvas, and I can paint the context I want. That's heavy duty, right? We need to regulate that a little bit with this Saturn energy in the Five of Wands. Because yes, this is true, but it's also true of everybody else. And so we have to allow the ripples of other people's choices coming in, and we have to, of course, assert ourselves and do the very best that we can, but we have to be that magician to go right in between the extremes, partaking of both kinds of energy, the striving and the yielding, right? We really need your power card here. But the Leo energy, this lust, this strength card, I think is you accomplishing the establishment of your ideals. That's the real jackpot in life, right? That's really, to me, that's making it big. That's real success to me, is when we feel that we've had an influence on creating the absolutely optimal context for ourselves, whether that means your dream job, your dream relationship, your family, your friends, your sense of community, all these things. The real jackpot is not the good job or the good friends. The jackpot is your ability to have an influence on manifesting that. right? The real jackpot, the real stature, making it big, really being successful in life, is having a say in your context, your environment, your circumstances, your surroundings. On every level, friends, family, romance, career, art, creativity, spirituality, physical, financial, all of these things. Having the power, having the control over your magic power, to do that in the most optimal way. And it won't be absolutely perfect, but being able to control this energy, that's the real jackpot. And that's how you are going to create any of the success that you want in life, any of the context that you really are after. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe this will be the art card. I want to see some more earth energy or even some more water energy. But I would like to see some earth. I want like a 9 or a 10. I want a 9 of pentacles, really, especially in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So beautiful. Let's see what we have. Oh, a 10 of cups. I'll take it. The jackpot. The jackpot and the success, and really this idea of like making it big, like really just being on top of the world. There's a sense of gratitude with that. There's a sense that all of these cups are up there, and yeah, you put them there, so did Spirit, right? I think you're working in tandem with that spiritual energy, with that magical energy that is manifesting through you. This is that dream life. This is the context, right? Look at that perfect context. You got your pets, your plants, your people. It is the attainment of that beautiful rainbow of happiness. It's the happily ever after. This is the perfect context that we want. This is the ideal. This is what the Knight of Pentacles is looking at the 10 of Cups in this case, but that's what they're looking at. So we have this ideal of what success, what the jackpot really is, what this dream life, the happily ever after, what it really is you having the ability to always be involved in creating your context, always having a say in it, rather than just being a cork on the ocean and wherever I end up, doing things intentionally, knowing who you are and what you want, and allowing that to come forth, and making these intentional choices. Being creative with the life, with the world around you, with that context. Yeah. Very, very nice. We're going to do an extended reading too if you want to stick around. There should be a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from, especially if you're a new viewer. Drop a comment, say hi, it's wonderful to have you. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.